Peeps, Kenny Molotov, welcome to another day in the life of a plumber. I am really happy to have caught this one on camera so that the plumbing apprentices among us can see a new method of augering a toilet when we have hit a brick wall in the traditional method. Last week I came to this call and I spent a great deal of time augering it with no success. My auger could just not get through. But upon removing the auger, I managed to pull a piece of food up. And when I showed that to the tenant, he didn't look surprised at all. So I made a deal with the tenant. I promised him that I would auger this toilet in the method I'm about to do, because sometimes we can remove whatever went down, but it is no guarantee. And just in case, I would have a new toilet ready to install as a last resort. So as you're gonna see, I'm removing the entire toilet, laying it down, and augering it from the outlet of the toilet rather than the inlet of the toilet as we usually do. I'm gonna try to push whatever is up inside through the inlet and hopefully we could grab it. And you are going to be shocked at what we find. Please like, subscribe, and share, and let's go do some delicious plumbing. And just like that, boom shakalaka, we have pulled out what I think is oxtail. And I hope it tasted good because with my invoice, it was the most expensive oxtail he had ever bought. So one thing I gotta say is that this is more common than I'd like to admit because sometimes people are spilling out their soups in the toilet and then bones and cutlery fall down the toilet on the flush down. I once pulled out a chopstick from a toilet from a similar situation. So just a friendly reminder, use the compost for everything you can, especially bones. So this is me doing a paper test. See, the biggest concern after augering a toilet is that you don't get everything out. So in order to verify the state of its flush, we end up bundling up a bunch of paper in large quantities and we flush it down the toilet to see how the toilet handles. After about 4 to 5 flushes like this, the toilet will either clog because something is still obstructing it and is catching all the paper, or like in this situation, it's gonna show you that everything can clear very comfortably and smoothly, which was a great blessing. The customer was happy and I was happy, and I didn't have to return the new toilet because I installed it a couple of days later. Now this second toilet is going to prove difficult because its supply line is coming straight out of the floor. Now this happens from time to time. There's nothing wrong with installing it that way. The only problem is the new toilet has such a wide base that it hits the supply pipe and I can't get it to straighten because of that. After showing the homeowner, she immediately asked me to run a new line. So I opted to open up the wall and run a new pipe through the wall and down into the basement rather than drilling another hole in the floor and through the tile like it currently has. So I'm really not a fan of toilets like this, as I have expressed many times before on this channel. They are not practically built for installation. The installer has to be built like Goro from Mortal Kombat to be able to lift this and hold it perfectly balanced while putting it down on bolts that you can't even see, by the way, because they give you 2 pinholes on either side so that you can tighten the bolts down. I have pinched my fingers. I've lost the bolts and rings inside these 2 pinholes. I've scratched the bottom of these toilets on the bolts a million times, and every time the customer turns to me and asks me what I think about the toilet, and I look them dead in the eyes and I tell them straight up, you have terrible taste in toilets, but amazing taste in plumbers, so I'm gonna let it go. They usually laugh because they think I'm joking. But you know what's not a joke? Invoicing. So here's a word from our sponsors. I'm getting better at this segue stuff, am I right, peeps? I want to show you some of the fastest invoicing on the planet, powered by Jobber. Let's go. First things first, let's go into the Jobber app. Once we're in, I want you to hit that plus icon, go to invoice. We're going to choose our customer. We already have an existing one. We're going to choose our salesperson, Kenny Molotov, and now we're going to add our things to invoice, our line items. So we're going to go toilet installation and auger. I already have this line item already created and inside the app. Add to invoice, save line item, and that's basically it. The only other thing that I didn't do in the last video was I can go to tax, hit our 13% HST, review and send by text to best plumbing customer ever. And it's literally just that fast. Once you have everything inputted into Jobber, all your line items, it makes things incredibly fast, incredibly easy. They can get a text message or they can get an email, and then from their email, they can pay by credit card, etc. If this is something that you're interested in, check out our links down in the description below. You get a 14-day free trial with our promo code, and you also get 20% off your first 6 months. Check it out, Jobber all the way. So one thing you're going to notice is that I went between copper and PEX in this installation. I wish I had run everything in PEX. The only thing is I was running out of PEX fittings and I wasn't able to do what I needed to do, which is why you're going to see me opt to put a bunch of stuff in copper ProPress. So you're going to see me ProPress a bunch of things, and then I'm going to PEX the entire way up all the way to the toilet connection. Peeps, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification so you know exactly when we're getting videos. Smash that thumbs up, share this with friends, and I'll see you plumbers very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.